Lovely. So yeah, coming down on your backs. You can plant your feet if you need to, or have your legs nice and long. Close down the eyes. Lovely. And then start taking a few more mindful breaths. So thinking of the breath, what's happening in the body as you breathe. And then just bring a little bit of awareness to the body and how your body feels. And then bringing your awareness again to your breath and how it feels in your body. Notice your ribs at the back of your body. And notice what happens to your ribs as you allow a more expansive breath. Just the back of the ribs. Do you notice a slight movement from them as they draw closer to the mat? On an inhale, and maybe they come a little bit further away from the mat on each exhale. And then bring your hands and just place them onto your belly. Just notice the belly as you inhale. Perhaps the belly expands into your hands. And on an exhale, it softens. And then just bring your hands and place them, if you can, just on the side of your body, so either the side of your belly or maybe a little bit further up the torso, if that feels comfortable. And again, as you inhale, exhale, you're just going to notice what happens to the side of your body. You're going to start to draw your knees in towards your chest. And you can squeeze them in if that feels good, or just allow them to stay there without the use of your hands if that feels good. But if you are squeezing them in, perhaps you want to invite a little shift to one side and the other, rocking onto one part of your back and then another part. Beautiful, and then everyone's just going to rock over onto the left-hand side, coming into a little fetal position. Curl up into a little ball, and then as you inhale, you're going to lengthen your legs away as you lengthen your arms up over your head, reaching out into a big star, and then as you exhale, start to curl up and come into a little fetal position, a little ball on your right-hand side. Really hug yourself in close. As you inhale, lengthen and stretch away into a big star, exhaling into a little ball, and then continue with this inhale, exhale a few more times. And then the next time you come over onto your left side, you can continue. If you're going over to your right, that's fine, but once you get back over onto your left side, you're going to stay in this little fetal position. And curl yourself in super tight, super close. And then reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And then allow yourself to just lean back so your torso, your back comes back onto the mat into a little twist. Maybe it doesn't reach that whole way. Maybe your arm isn't completely out straight. You've maybe got a little bend into the elbow if that feels good. And you might want to stay here, or perhaps you want to take a different kind of twist. Maybe you want to lengthen the underneath leg away and keep that right leg in close. Maybe you're just happy here with the knees bent. Lovely. And then curling yourself back into your little ball. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then lengthening your arms and legs into your star, big in breath. And then curling up onto your right side. Exhale. On your inhale, lengthen back into your star. And you can really use your whole breath to really take a good stretch out here into your star, and then exhaling back into your ball on your left-hand side. And then one more big star. And then find your fetal position facing the right-hand side. Curling up tight. And then lengthening that left arm up towards the ceiling and just lean back. Gently, gently does it into your twist, finding the twist that works for you. Take another breath in. And a breath out. And curl back into your little fetal position facing the right. And then slowly rock back onto your back. Perhaps staying here in your apanasana, or if you want to take your legs a little bit wider here, so knees coming out a little bit wider, legs coming out a bit wider. And perhaps you want to stay there. And maybe even take a happy baby, so soles of the feet hold up the ceiling. Knees still stay really bent, and you can either grab hold of your foot, or that might be way too much. This early in the morning, you might find your shoulders and neck just start to lift up off the mat. So maybe you want to grab hold of the ankles or calves, maybe the inner thigh. And we can find a little movement here, one side and the other, or perhaps stillness if you prefer. If you want to work into your hamstrings a little bit, maybe you just lengthen one leg and then the other. And if that feels good, maybe you want to take both legs out nice and wide. We're going to bring those knees back into the chest and give them a squeeze in. And we can either roll over onto one side, or we're going to rock and roll up through the length of the spine until we come to seated. So you can really use this little rock and roll up to give your spine a little bit of a massage. Oh, feels quite nice. Well, for me anyway. And we're going to come into a little seated position. Legs can be crossed or out in front. Beautiful. If your legs are crossed, if everyone puts their left leg in front, just for now, we'll do the other leg in a minute. So left shin in front. We're going to take a breath in and a breath out as we come up and over with that right arm. And then up and over with the left. It doesn't matter which one you've done really first, because we're going to continue this movement. Working into the mobility of the back and of the sides of the body. You can do this as quick or as slow as you want to go. And the next time you've got your right hand up and over the top, you're just going to stay here for a breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, allow that hand to come down by the side of you. So you kind of collapse into the chest. And we're in a little twist. Kind of a forward foldy twist. And then start to walk your hands round towards the front. And really lengthen them out. If that feels way too much and you want to come up a bit higher, or maybe even place the hands behind you and just start to hinge forwards, you can do. Take another breath in and a breath out. And then walk your hands over to the right side this time. Lovely. Back into that forward foldy, twisty move. And then we're going to reach our left hand up over the top, spiral the chest open, and come back into those little waves. One side and then the other, and as you're doing this, you're just going to switch which leg is in front. So placing the right shin in front this time. Lovely. And then the next time you've got your left arm up and over, you're just going to hold this. Normally if it's too much in the shoulder, you don't have to take your arm up and over. You can just touch the hand onto the shoulder if that feels better. And then exhale, collapse into that chest as you give yourself a little twist here. Breath in, breath out, and then walking your hands round towards the centre. Again, we'll have a brief stretch here, just a 2 or 3 breaths. You can really relax through the neck. Relax through the upper body, take another breath in. And a breath out, and then walking your hands round towards the left hand side. Maybe you want to walk those right fingertips a little bit further away. You might feel that stretch a lot down the side of the back of the body. And then walking your hands up, lifting that right hand one more time up and over the head. And then coming back up to center. Beautiful. Give your shoulders a few rolls forward and back if that feels good. And then taking hold of the knees, we're going to inhale and draw the heart forwards. Stick your tailbone out behind you, and as you exhale, holding onto your legs and draw the middle of your back towards the back of the room. Maybe tuck the chin in. Take a breath in, heart comes forwards. And breath out, exhale. Inhale, heart draws forwards. Maybe just take a close down of the eyes. I'm going to do this for a few more breaths, just in your own time, following the pace of your own breath. Lovely, and then coming to sit up in your seated position and find your way into all fours, whether you want to just come straight over the legs or swing your legs behind. And again, you can continue this cat-cow movement into the spine or just add a little bit of your own flavour, your own style. You're deciding what your body wants, what your spine wants. Lovely, and then finding a little bit of stillness, lengthening through the spine, and then tucking the toes. We're going to lift the hips up and back into a really little downward facing dog. We're not going to stay here for very long, but you are going to have a little walk through of the feet, getting into the mobility of the ankles and the knees, maybe into the hips. And then bending the knees, looking towards the top of the mat, step your right leg through. Drop the back knee down onto the mat. And maybe here you want to find just a bit of stillness, or perhaps a little move into that hip, maybe forward and back. Maybe even drawing some little hip circles if that feels good. Beautiful. And then inhale, we're going to lift the hands up into a really low lunge. Maybe you want to widen the stance a little bit. Maybe you want to shorten the stance. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, left arm reaches forward, right arm reaches back into a twist. So twisting over that right leg. Perhaps staying there, or if you want to take a little reverse warrior, revolved, I can't say this, reversed warrior, that's what I'm saying. The right arm can drop down, left arm lifts high. That was a little bit of a hard tongue twister for a Friday morning. So the left arm is coming up, right hand is dropping down towards that back leg. You should be feeling that into maybe the side of the body, but more so into that left hip flexor. Take another breath in, lovely. And then exhale, walking the hands back into your lunge. Beautiful. And then you're going to tuck the back toes for me. Lift the back knee, and you're going to come into a skandasana facing the left hand side. That might be way too intense in the morning. If that's the case, you can come up a little bit higher into more of a warrior two. But if you can, just coming into that skandasana, and then you're going to go straight back into your low lunge. So just using your hands to bring yourself into your low lunge and then back into your skandasana. So just doing that a few more times. Lovely. And then when you're into your next skandasana, you can stay there if that feels good. Perhaps the sole of the right foot is grounded. Maybe it's not. Mine's up on the toe today, ball of the foot. Flexing the left toes back towards you. If you've got the balance, you want to bring your hands to heart center, you can do, or you can just keep your hands down on the ground. Take another breath in. And then exhale, plant the right hand down on the ground. You're going to lift the left hand up. So just coming into a little bit of a twist. Yeah, same arm as the leg that's long, lift it. And then exhale, float that hand down. Inhale, you're going to twist open again, opening towards the left leg. And then exhale, bring that hand down. Really nice. You're going to come back into your lunge, low lunge, back knee drops So coming to face the top of the mat again. And then walk your hands back towards your left foot, and then flexing the right toes back towards your face. And perhaps here, maybe even want to start to walk those hands a little bit more further forward, so you've got a bit more space to lengthen through the body. It might just be super intense and you might want to keep them back towards you. And then remember, we don't have to have this front leg mega straight. We can have a bend there and you'll still get the benefit. You'll still get the stretch down the hamstring. Take another breath in. And a breath out. You're going to walk your hands forward, back into your lunge, tuck the back toes, and make your way into a tabletop. So coming back onto your shins. Inhale, lift the heart and gaze, and then exhale, round through that spine. Inhale, lift, and exhale, round. Lengthening through the spine as you tuck your toes, and we're going to lift up and back into downward facing dog. Give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. And then bend the knees, look towards the top of the mat, left leg steps forward this time into our lunge, back knee drops down. And again, we've got that movement we can take here if that feels good. I'm just going to spin around, so I'm not going to face the back of the room in a second when we come to our Skandasana. Beautiful. So finding a bit of stillness, and we're going to lift our hands and arms up towards the ceiling. You can really make this a little bit smaller if it's way too much in your hip flexor. If you're really feeling it, maybe take it a little bit wider. It's all good. Take a breath in. And we're going to twist open. So right hand forward, left hand back. And perhaps in the mornings, maybe your twists aren't as deep and big and expansive. Maybe they're just a little bit smaller, and that's absolutely fine. We're just moving to what our body wants. We're going to take the tongue twister, dropping the left hand down towards the back leg, right arm lifts. I'll try again. Revolved reversed warrior. Too much on a Friday morning. Maybe it would have been better on a Monday morning, I don't know. Take another breath in. And then exhale, the hands float down back into your lunge. And then tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and find your Skandasana, walking round into your Skandasana. We just get there and we find our lunge again. So you might find this quite opening into the hip as you come into your Skandasana. And then back into your lunge. Ooh, one more of these. And then the next time you get into your Skandasana, you can stay there, and perhaps you want to bring your hands to heart center, or just bring them down onto the floor. Get comfortable in the pose. I tend to have to bring my heel a little bit further forward because my leg is always quite far back. So just have a little wiggle around. Beautiful. Left hand's grounded, right arm lifts. Inhale. And you can use that right arm just onto the left leg here to just open up that knee a little bit more, open up that hip. Floating that hand back down. And then one more. Inhale, lift, twist open. And exhale, float it down. We're coming back into our lunge facing the top of the mat. Back knee drops down onto the mat. And then we walk back, hips shift back and lengthen through the left leg. Lengthen the heart towards the toes. And again, in all these poses, especially in the morning, you don't have to be mega still. We can still have a slight little movement, a little bit of a wave about it. In the mornings, we really want to work on mobility rather than just holding poses for a really long time because your body wants to wake up. And then start to walk the hands forward into your low lunge, tuck the back toes, and again we're finding our tabletop, so just sliding that shin back. Inhale, heart opens, exhale, round through that spine, tuck the chin in. Inhale, heart opens, and exhale, round. Take a breath in and just find length through that spine coming into your tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a little walk through of the feet here. Perhaps you want to stay here, or maybe you want to drop down back onto your knees and do another cat-cow in tabletop. Or we can float through into our plank. Maybe knees drop, maybe they stay lifted. We exhale, chaturanga. We inhale, squeeze the glutes, find our little baby cobra or upward facing dog. And we exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to take a breath in, right leg lifts. And then exhale, bring it knee to nose. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, lift, just one. This time over towards the left elbow. See if you can make it touch. Take it back up. And then on your next exhale, you're just going to step it through into a high lunge this time. So back knee is lifted. You can keep your hands here just for a moment again. Have a little bit of a wiggle around in your lunge. Ooh. And then the hands can float up, really grounding through that foot. Push the mat away with the right foot as you lift the hands. Maybe a slight bend into that back knee if that's really good, especially if you feel like you're a little bit tense here. You can soften into that. I'm just going to toe heel my right foot a little bit wider so I'm more on train tracks rather than on a little tightrope. Breath in. Left arm forward, right arm back. So we're kind of mimicking the flow we just did, but we're a little bit more up than down on the ground. Take a breath in, left arm lifts, right arm floats down. Revolved, reversed, warrior. There we go. If I say it slowly, I can do it. Take another breath in. And exhale. On your next breath in, bring that hand back up into your lunge. Torso faces the front. And then we exhale into warrior two. So you can see I had a really big shift then with that leg coming into warrior two. Beautiful. We're going to inhale and come back into our lunge. And open into your warrior two. Exhale. Inhale into your crescent lunge. And we're going to stay here in our warrior two. Beautiful. Shoulders away from the ears. Soften through the face. Gaze over that front hand. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, the forearm finds the thigh. Oh, another tongue twister. We could have a whole book of these. And then the left arm is going to lift up into your extended side angle. Have a slight tuck through that pelvis so we're not sticking our bum out. So we're just going to find length through the spine as we do that. You might just start to feel it a little bit more into the lower back. The right knee is tracking open, using the hips to really open it up. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, just float this hand down behind you, the left hand. Bring it all the way down and through and reach it up. Beautiful. Take a breath out. And then on your next inhale, we're going to find crescent lunge again, facing the top of the mat. Ooh, should be feeling this a little bit into that right leg. I definitely am. Don't worry. We're going to shorten the stance a little bit. Maybe just hop that back foot in slightly and then lengthen through this front leg. My goodness, that feels good. And then reach forward. You can still have a micro bend in this front leg if you need. And you can either bring your hands onto your hips or maybe down onto that front leg, or maybe lengthen all the way down. I'm just going to close the curtains before you lose me completely. I'm not complaining about the sunshine. It's the first time I've had it all week, so that's good. But I might turn invisible. So we're in a pyramid pose, lengthening through the crown of the head. Maybe you're up on the ball of your back foot. Take another breath in. And a breath out. And then we inhale, bend into that front leg. The arms lift back into our lunge. And then exhale, floating hands down towards the mat. Step back into our downward facing dog. Take your breath in here. Maybe still having a little bit of a movement or a wiggle or maybe stillness. We exhale. We take another breath in. Grounding down through the hands. And exhale. Either staying there, coming into your cat-cows or floating through into your plank. Exhaling into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to do that one more time. So take a breath in and a breath out. And then inhale, float through into your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. And down, and then downward facing dog. This time, left leg lifts. Really lengthening the leg away from you. And then bring it knee to nose. Just make it touch underneath the body. Beautiful. Lengthen that leg away as you inhale, really grounding down through the hands. Exhale, we bring left elbow, left knee. Make it touch. Really grounding down into the fingertips as well. Lengthen up as you inhale. And then one more across the body this time. Left knee to right elbow. Make it touch. Really squeeze it in and then lengthen that leg away. Beautiful. And we're going to step that foot through into our lunge. Hands float up. Maybe you need to use your hands just on your thigh to help you up. It's all good. And maybe you find stillness here, or you still want to play around a little bit with a bit of movement. Perhaps there's a little bend into that back leg. Maybe you're going to play around with the stance. Where do you need your leg position to be for this to feel good in your body? We're going to take a breath in, and then as you exhale, right arm reaches forward, left arm reaches back into your twist. It's beautiful, so you're twisting towards the left side of the mat, lovely. Take another breath in, and then as you exhale, left hand floats down, right hand reaches up. Beautiful. And then as you inhale, left hand floats back up. We find our crescent lunge again. And then we're going to exhale, open into our warrior two. Left leg bent, lovely. Inhale, back into your lunge. Exhale, open into your warrior two. Inhale, back into your lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Can't remember how many times we did this. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, back into your crescent lunge. I'm sure it was 3 or 4. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you do it 10 times on one side and twice on the other. Exhale, back into your warrior two. We're going to stay here. Have a little fidget around with the feet. Where do your feet need to be for this to feel good? And then just glancing down to your left toes. You should be able to see your left toe. If not, you're using your glutes. Give them a squeeze, and that will help open that left knee a little bit more. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Really sitting tall out of the pelvis. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, your left forearm comes down towards your left thigh. And then you're going to sweep that right hand all the way up or down and under, however you want to get there, to your extended side angle. So this left arm is really just like a little stand, but we're not putting all our weight into it. It's just there just in case we suddenly go, oh my goodness, I'm going to fall over. So we're still trying to lift up away from this leg. And it's just there as a precaution so we don't completely collapse. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, that right hand floats all the way to the back of the room. Bring it down, and then around, big twist open. Beautiful. And then one more of those. Exhale and inhale. Take another breath out. And then as you inhale, back into your crescent lunge. We're not going to stay here for very long. Just position the feet where you need them for your pyramid pose, and then lengthen through that front leg as you start to reach forwards or wobble around crazily like I am. Hands can come to your hips or down onto your left leg or down onto the ground. And again, we're really not collapsing into these hands. These hands are just here to give us a little bit of support, but not completely hold us up. We are still trying to use strength to hold us up as we lengthen over the left leg. Lovely. Take another breath in. And then exhale back into your lunge. Hands lift for a breath in. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Give the legs a little walk through. Take a breath in and a breath out. You have the option of coming through into your cat-cows or float through, inhale into your vinyasa, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra, and downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look towards the top of the mat and step through. Relax the neck, forward fold. You're going to toe heel the feet about hip distance apart, and then just relax over your legs but grab hold of opposite elbows and really hang heavy. Yeah. Maybe you want to have a little sway side to side, a little bend into one knee and then the other. Relax the neck. Relax the shoulders. How much can you relax in this pose? Release the hands down towards the mat, and on a breath in, draw the fingers up the shins, squeeze the shoulder blades together and lengthen through the crown of the head. And exhale, forward fold, relax the neck. Take a breath in and start to rise all the way up into standing. And then bring the hands together and draw them through to heart center. You're going to bring your weight over onto your right foot and just lift the left knee up towards the chest. You can use your hands to balance, maybe on your hips, wherever you need. And then exhale, open the knee out towards the side. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, open. Inhale, bring it back. And then flex through this foot and then send that foot away from you. I was going to point my foot at the camera then, but then you would have just got lovely sole of my foot in your face. That's not so nice. Take another breath in. And a breath out. And then inhale, bring that knee up towards the chest and then float that foot back down onto the mat. Shift your weight onto your left foot this time and then inhale, lift that right knee. Beautiful. Exhale, open. Really standing tall out of that supporting leg. Exhale, bring it back. Open. And bring it back. We've got one more of those. Open. And bring it back. Lovely. Flex through that foot. And then send that heel forwards. Wherever your hands need to be for balance. Take another breath in. And exhale. And then inhale, knee lifts. And then float that foot back down. Beautiful. Take a breath in, hands lift. Arms sweep wide. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, draw the crown of the head forwards. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Float through to your plank if you're taking the vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. Bend your knees, look towards the top of the mat, inhale, and as you exhale, step up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rising up, inhale. Exhale, rising all the way down, flowing all the way back down into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, step back to your downward facing dog. We have the option to flow through into our plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend knees, look towards the top of the mat and find your forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale. Rising up, inhale. Find your forward fold, exhale. And then just flow with your own breath into whatever sun salutation you fancy. However quick or slow your breath is asking you to move. And then next time we come to stand, we're all going to join each other in mountain pose. Bring your hands to touch, and as you exhale, flow them through to your heart center. Take one more breath in here, lift the hands. We're just going to do a little half sun salutation, coming all the way down into forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, rising up. Bring the hands down to heart center. Allow them to float down by the side of you. Close down the eyes. Take a breath in and a breath out. Take a breath in and a breath out. This time as you inhale, float the hands up above your head. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Take another breath. And then blink the eyes open. Thank you for practicing today. Hope you feel a little bit more mobile, a little bit more awake.